What is going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, we coming in hot on this one, on this Monday morning, and happy Monday to you guys. I seen this story yesterday. In fact, somebody sent me this story, but I couldn't upload it the way it was sent. So shout yourself out. They sent me this early before it even made the news. But this story right here is one you got to see to believe. And the details of this are extremely horrible. The today's story comes out of Pontiac, Michigan. Shout out Pontiac. And it's about a mother. Now, they ain't showed this woman yet or her age, but this woman is in serious trouble. And rightfully so, because what she did was not only horrible, but extremely cruel, insensitive, and downright dirty as hell. Ladies and gentlemen, this past Friday in the afternoon, 3 children were found, ages, listen, 15, a boy, 15, 13-year-old girl, and a 12-year-old girl. 3 children found in a townhouse where they have been abandoned by their mother for 4 years estimated. I want you to think about that. Take a look at this story, and we're going to come back and get all over this.
Well, the pictures are hard to look at. Police in Pontiac say 3 children were found living alone in deplorable conditions after discovering their mother had abandoned them for years. Our Victor Williams is following the story for us tonight. Victor, we're learning that mother has been arrested. What else can you tell us?
Yeah, that's right. The mother has been arrested, Pam, but we're told that these kids were actually inside of this house for years, at least since 2021. This is the house behind me that has that orange sticker right there on the window, but we're told these kids were only 12, 13, and 15. Now, authorities, they said that the mom would drop off food from time to time, but she's a 34-year-old woman that's now being held at the Oakland County Jail, with a case now being turned over to the prosecutor for review. We are expecting charges to come in the next few days or so, but the only reason authorities ever stepped in the first place was because the landlord actually called 911. He contacted deputies after not hearing from the mother since about December, and that's what started this welfare check. Take a look at some of this video from inside of the place. We're told that the house was just so unsanitary that evidence techs, they had to wear hazmat suits in order to investigate. Now, we're talking about piles of garbage in rooms as high as 4 feet tall, human feces overflowing in the toilet, and then also the bathtubs. Apparently, they were living on that food that people would bring nearby. Even also, strangers would sometimes bring that food up to the door. Now, also, we are being told that the mother had not spoken to the 2 girls that were in there for years, but she would go and actually speak to the son from time to time. The kids were not in school. They actually spent their entire time at the home watching TV and then playing video games. The conditions in the house were so bad that the kids had to sleep on the floor, the boy had a mattress, and the girls had to sleep on pizza boxes. So we're actually going to go and hear from Sheriff Michael Bouchard on what these kids are now having to go through, as well as what they now have to bounce back from.
Our first focus is in trying to make sure these kids get what they need to begin the process of moving forward. The second very important part of this is, how did 3 kids fall through the cracks so terribly? How did the community, relatives, the schools, no one knew to reach out to us? How did that happen? And so that's going to be a big part of what I've already directed our investigations to figure out.
Now, while all of this was going on inside of the house, we're told that they ended up finding the mother at a different location. And so we're going to have more on what residents living nearby they have to say about this. That's coming up at 11 p.m. Victor Williams, Local 4.
Yeah, literally. I mean, I found out about this on my way into work this afternoon, and there are no words. I mean, this is absolutely horrific. This is by far, I think, one of the worst stories we've ever covered here at Fox 2. And I want to warn everybody out there that the details are very disturbing.
If you think about the horrific ads you see on TV to spur donations for animals that have been abused or are living in terrible conditions, multiply that by 10.
A horrible story of abuse and abandonment. Investigators say 3 kids were living in a condo on Lydia Lane in Pontiac for years, alone in horrific conditions.
There was garbage, trash piled 3 and 4 feet high, covered with feces all through the house. It doesn't look like the toilet or the bathtub had been usable or workable for quite some time, primarily because of the feces and trash. I don't think they had basic hygiene knowledge of what to do. They hadn't been given hygiene products for years, toothbrushes, etc.
A 15-year-old boy and 2 girls ages 12 and 13 in the house of horrors since at least 2021, according to the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. Their mother or someone else would leave prepared food on the porch once a week.
They had basically been locked in the house without any kind of guidance or basic hygiene or any kind of education for years.
The kids were discovered Friday. The landlord called police and asked them to do a welfare check because he had not heard from the mother since December.
We went to the house to check on what was going on there and had no idea that there were kids there, let alone kids in grave situation.
Their 34-year-old mother arrested and being held at the Oakland County Jail. The children taken to an area hospital and are now in the care of a family member.
We showed up at the house. The young boy did have communication with the mom and said the police were there, and she said hide. When we took the kids out of the house, they had difficulty walking because their toenails were so long. They hadn't had any grooming. Incredibly disheveled and unkempt, hair very matted, filthy.
Authorities trying to figure out how this abuse went on for so long without anyone knowing about it.
It's pretty heartbreaking that the kids would have to live under those conditions. People just kind of get in their car and go. Another of my neighbors, we were just talking today, and she said to me, she says, look at all this snow. I don't see anybody out helping each other, shovel each other's snow. So I think people are just kind of just doing their own thing now and just kind of going in their places and closing the doors.
It's still just so incredibly hard to believe that these kids were in this condo for so many years, never seeing the sunlight, never trying to leave. They were apparently spending their time watching TV and playing games, not in school. We know that they had been enrolled in Pontiac schools years ago, but what happened? Why did they fall through the cracks? And it just, I mean, it's mind-boggling that the girls that we talked about, ages 12 and 13, the sheriff says they were sleeping on pizza boxes, old pizza boxes. A lot more to come on this story, but just absolutely heartbreaking. Reporting live, Camille and Mary, Fox 2 News.
Listen to this. Her name is not released to protect the identity of the children. Fuck that. Hell no. Hell no. That right there is an abomination. It makes no damn sense that children were left like that. And you brought food once a week. You left a boy at 15 years old with a 12 and 13-year-old girl. Now I want you to pay attention to the story. They've been abandoned for 4 years. So look at the ages then. He was 11. Other girl was 9. The other girl was 8. So you left a 11-year-old to watch a 9-year-old to watch an 8-year-old. Your children. You put adult problems and stress on a boy that was 11 at the time while you ran out and went and lived with somebody else and act like they didn't exist. And you can sit up there and say, oh, the mom brought food once a week. Fuck that. That's bullshit. You didn't see the degrading of your children? You didn't see the decline in them? How they looked? How they started to resemble more wild animals than regular kids? said people bringing food. Evidently, it was somebody that knew her, or it was her herself, once a week to the house for these kids, right? You didn't see them, the hygiene issues. The house didn't stink. The rent and all that stuff was paid. And that's the part I want you to pay attention to. All of this stuff was paid for. The house was paid like it's a fully functioning, running house with no supervision with children in there. How sick can you be? They need to take this woman and take her out at the pasture right now. Don't deal with it. We don't need to know why, because if you really pay attention to it, you can figure it out. You forsaking them kids to go and live your life like you were starting a new book. Like you were starting a new book, not a new chapter, just a new book of life, like they didn't exist. And in you feeding them or bringing food over there, having somebody bring food over there was enough. That is bullshit. That is not parenting. That is neglect at the highest. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. It is. And I did some messed up stories that bother me, but this bothers me. It does. What type of people let you live with them knowing that you got kids and you ain't taking care of them? Unless you told a lie and they don't think the kids is around. Another thing is this. Why'd you have them like that and not give them to their dads or dad? Why would you let them go through that? Don't you think about that? This is absolutely sickening, y'all. And it's hard. It hurts my heart to even see and do stories like this. But I mean, who besides the news talking about that, who really gonna get a true opinion and speak for kids that have no voice? Seriously. What the hell is going on here? This is wrong, wrong, wrong. Heartbreaking as it comes. Said they were so, their toenails were so long that they trying to get the kids out, they couldn't even walk because their toenails were so long. I want you to think about that. Think about how you could deal with that as a person. Said they didn't even have they had enough instinct as humans to survive. You know, make bedding for themselves and all this. They went right back to prehistoric times and them trying to figure life out when you out there doing whatever you want to do, eating food that you like for enjoyment, laying up with whoever you want to lay up with, laughing and joking with friends, and not really thinking that there are people that need you, that came out of you, that you're responsible for. And you didn't think nothing about that. I don't give two shits about the motherfucker who did this. Because that's bad. That's bad. Trash 4 feet high. Babies got to sleep on pizza boxes. I don't believe in beating women up and nothing like that. But I'm going to be honest. I would mollywop one of my kids' mom if I heard that was going on. But then again, I'm in my kid's life. You understand what I'm saying? How 4 years these kids aren't in contact with the dads? They're not checking on them? I don't understand this. I don't. The only reason why she got caught is because she ain't paid rent since December. 2 months is an eviction time. And then people that rented that to her got to go over there and deal with a biohazard after them kids have been removed. You know how much money it's going to cost to fix that? Another thing is the people next door, they didn't smell nothing. I want you to look. The pictures you see up here, look at the toilet, overflowing with shit. It's shit right there in the in the tub. So they wasn't taking baths, anything. Look at the other picture in the middle. It's trash all over the place. I want you to look at the house. That looked like a nice neighborhood of nice houses, right? What's on the ground? Snow. So what does that mean? Inside the house, they got to do what? Burn the heat. Can you imagine 4 years of piss, shit, trash, just fumigating the damn house and they're living in it? That is a biohazard, toxic environment. Breathing in all of that uric acid and fecal matter, that's disgusting. Disgusting. That is not love. That is not love. You could say whatever the fuck you want to say. Oh, she was struggling or whatever excuses she gonna come with. The only people that struggled was those that relied on you for their well-being, and you fucked them over. So fuck you. Take her outside and put her head on the chopping block. Show her the flowers. This is sickening. This is sickening. You could even see the reporters. See the black dude? I'm such and such. Channel 4 News. He like, damn. He can't even believe it. Who does this type of stuff to children? Their children. They was 9, 8, and 11 years old when you walked away from them. What part of your psyche made you think that was a fucking good idea? And that's the problem I have out here. There are people that will defend this chick. Especially, they ain't show what she is, but especially if she come out to be black. There'll be people that's defend her. Maybe she, maybe nothing. I don't give a fuck what color she is. You don't do that to your own goddamn kids. There are always options, and you didn't take them. You didn't even look for them. You're worried about your fucking ass and what you was doing out there in the street while your children struggled to survive. Sad. Sadness, heartbreaking to see that. I couldn't imagine. They haven't been to school. They haven't had toiletries or any type of hygiene products. They just played video games and watched TV as the trash piled up, thus pushing them closer to the ceiling and imminent doom. What if one of them children fell ill and died in that house? You would have, just like on the show Hoarders, when they go clean up houses with a bunch of animals and stuff like that, dead animals under the trash, the house eating them alive. You know, it's all kind of vermin and stuff like that, and you got these children in there. How could they even eat food with the smell of everything around? Why? Because they got desensitized, just like you got desensitized with seeing them as human beings. That's why I tell you, when people do stuff that's inhumane, they have to see you as what? Less than human. You birthed these children and did them like that? Unacceptable. Get her the fuck out of here. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. This is messed up. It is. And the thing that's messed up about it is there were other options. You could have did it, gave them away. You could have contacted the dad. You could have did something. Where's your fucking heart at? That you could not have compassion against children that I'm sure resemble you, that you know come from you. See, the reflection of how people treat their children a lot of times is how they feel about themselves inside. And that's your proof of it. Either way she'd go if it was up to me. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.